Someone furrowed their brow. Among these names, several have been heard of before. They are once-in-a-lifetime geniuses. But when did Fang Che emerge? Someone was puzzled. The man with the white beard frowned. Moreover, this performance is too bizarre. From 39 to 91, it's all jumping by 2 points each time, indicating that only 5th-level demonic beasts were killed. 26 5th-level demonic beasts in a row? Not to mention packs of demonic beasts. But what cultivation level could possibly slaughter 5th-level demonic beasts, like cutting melons and chopping vegetables? A martial student who has applied for the Martial Academy but hasn't entered yet, at most would be a martial teacher, right? Could he do that? Everyone shook their heads, unless it was a martial master. Could he have cheated? It can't be cheating, right? If there was cheating, it would have been reported. But those people over there haven't reported anything yet. In the forest, 2 men in black stood on a high place far away, looking speechless at the distant front under the cover of branches and leaves. That was a canyon. Countless blood-toothed demon wolves were rushing into the canyon eagerly. Even some blood-toothed demon wolves from afar had activated their innate abilities, riding the wind to come hurriedly and rush in. A bundle of incense was burning on a cliff face below the canyon. To enter the canyon and then the cliff, there were several huge rocks blocking the way, leaving only a winding path. The narrow path could only accommodate 1 demon wolf coming in, and they had to be careful not to collide with the rocks. And that cunning young man was waiting at the last fork. He stood on the edge of the cliff, holding a wind-steel-long sword. Below his feet, on the cliff, the spirit, beast-soothing incense that attracted blood-toothed demon wolves the most was being guided into the winding path by him. As soon as a demon wolf came excitedly, its head just appeared. It was cut down by a sword, killing the wolf without spilling blood, but the vitality and soul were severed at the same time. Then a small knife dug out a core, and a few drops of blood simultaneously entered the nameplate. With a flying kick, the corpse of the demon wolf was kicked off the cliff. Then another one came, similarly 1 sword, 1 dig, 1 drop, 1 kick. The operation was extremely smooth. Watching the actions was like a skilled worker who had done this job for decades. A 5th stage demon wolf, another one, and another one. Fang Che's movements were brisk, clean, and diligent. But the 2 instructors of the Martial Academy, watching, felt more and more speechless, increasingly, feeling a mouthful of old bitterness that couldn't be spit out or swallowed. Is this cheating? One of them asked incredulously through telepathy. The other also felt like his mouth was full of bitter orange. This really doesn't count as cheating. What? Because from beginning to end, he has always been fighting. Although it's easier to fight, it's indeed fighting and battling. Another person felt soreness in his throat while saying this. Both fell silent at the same time. Was Fang Che fighting? Yes. But compared to other outstanding individuals, his fighting was too easy. Compared to someone of the same cultivation, encountering such blood-toothed demon wolves, they would be exhausted and might barely solve 1 problem, and still get hurt themselves. But he, 1 sword, 1 dig, 1 drop, 1 throw. It was finished. It was so easy, just like dipping bread in garlic paste during meals. But you couldn't say he was cheating. This was truly. Fan Tianjiao, who was also watching, opened his mouth wide, his jaw almost hitting the ground, muttering, "My motherfucker, I've really seen something today because of his grandfather's creativity." Qian Sanjiang watched with bright eyes. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit talent. The cliff wasn't very high, only 200 or 300 meters, but looking down from above, it was shrouded in mist, unable to see the bottom. On the ground below the cliff, countless piles of bones lay scattered. The corpses of demon wolves, constantly falling to the ground, remained motionless after landing. However, beneath the corpses of the demon wolves, blood began to seep out quietly. The blood disappeared upon contact with the ground. As the blood continued to flow, the corpses of the demon wolves gradually lost their luster. The energy within the flesh and bones of the demon wolves continued to seep out and penetrate the ground. Finally, even the wolf's skin became loose, devoid of any strength, like rotten cloth that had rotted for years, still intact on the surface, but could be blown apart with a breath. Only the wolf hair remained detached, brightly colored. Even if someone descended to the bottom of the cliff and saw these corpses, they wouldn't notice that these demon wolves were actually completely rotten, unchanged in appearance. Throughout the entire mountain forest, from countless places, the same scene was happening. Wherever lifeless corpses were, the same changes occurred. All the energy was seeping into the ground, flowing towards a certain direction. However, no one noticed. After killing all the demon wolves, Fang Che kept looking around, always feeling that something was wrong. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't find it. What was the reason? Hundreds of zhang deep underground, there was a broken body lying silently. It seemed to have been dead for an unknown number of years, without decaying. The threads of bloody qi seeping in from countless directions continuously gathered toward the body, like trickles converging into the sea. Over the years, it was unknown how much had accumulated, showing no change whatsoever. Only the surrounding bloodshot qi had become slightly more concentrated. Baiyun Martial Academy. Everyone looked dumbfounded at Fang Che's name soaring upward like a rocket, starting from 91 points, and then shooting up to 201, pausing briefly, then starting again to surge madly, all the way to 299. Finally, it stopped moving, soaring high at the top. Up until now, the second place Qiu Yunshang had only 77 points. The gap was like heaven and earth. Then Fang Che stopped moving. The white-bearded vice dean finally ordered. Fang Che should have finished accumulating. Quickly, check what kind of demonic beast he killed. Then send a message to ask the instructors who escorted the martial students here what happened. Soon, the cores were all transmitted back, piled up all over the floor. One pile. Are they all blood-toothed demon wolves? All the teachers of Baiyun Martial Academy were stunned. For a long time, the white-bearded man stomped his foot. This time, this little fellow must have taken advantage of a loophole. Blood-toothed demon wolves have a fatal weakness, which is the soothing grass. Just at this moment, news from the front also returned. Fang Che used the spirit beast soothing incense. It seems everyone else looked at each other questioningly. Can it be like this? What should we do? What can we do? The white-bearded man stomped his foot. Since he didn't cheat, there's nothing we can do about it. Sigh. After this little fellow enters the martial academy, I want to see what kind of thing he is. After finishing, he walked out with his hands behind his back, grumbling. Outside, someone reported, "Mountain Master, there's a secret report." Only hearing the Mountain Master say, "Bring it." A short while later, the Mountain Master was in his study, looking at a piece of paper in front of him. The 4 words on the paper were rapidly fading. Pay attention to Fang Che. The Mountain Master's gaze was profound. As expected by the Martial Academy, after Fang Che reached 299, he stopped slaughtering. Although the soothing incense was running low, the blood-toothed demon wolves from all over the mountains were still coming one after another. But Fang Che no longer wanted to continue killing. Enough. Exceeding 200 means free admission and exemption from exams. Continuing to kill would be meaningless. Moreover, staying here made him feel uncomfortable, indescribably uneasy, and he didn't want to stay. For a moment. Here, even listening to his own heartbeat made him feel startled. This feeling was too wrong. There must be great danger. Therefore, after getting the leave immediately, Wei Zihao felt lucky, discovering a spiritual ginseng plant while slaughtering demonic beasts. And this spiritual ginseng plant was guarded by a 6th-level peak demonic beast. Wei Zihao himself couldn't kill it, so he promised rich rewards and teamed up with more than 10 martial students to kill the demonic beast. No one else saw where the spiritual ginseng was, and Wei Zihao secretly rejoiced. Once the demonic beast was killed,